Hey guys, it's Samad Safadin, Chief Strategist over at Funnel Marketer, and I wanted to actually do a continuation of the last video we did, which was on Facebook Pixels. Today I wanted to actually go into Google Tag Manager, which, again, I think a lot of people just don't do much about. So I want to go dive in and let's take a look. So this is how Google Tag Manager looks like. It's a pretty simple, self-explanatory thing to, kind of look into. You'll want to see if your website, whoever your developer is, actually utilized it. So just like what we did for Facebook Pixels, you can actually use the Google Tag Manager Finder. So there is this little smiley face, little icon. We'll put a link in. It's called the Google Tag Assistant. You can click on that and hit enable, and you'll see if this particular page actually has Google Tag Manager. You'll actually see all of the different tags. It could be the analytics and so on and so forth that the site has. You'll see all of that's there. On top of that, you can actually use even the built with Chrome extension that we talked about last time and see all the different plugins that your website's using right there as well. So if you don't see Google Tag Manager, you don't have it, and that's when you literally go into Google Tag Manager. So to set it up, it's pretty straightforward. It's again just kind of setting up, connecting your domain to it, and then actually giving, finding that code that comes out with it. So you'll see here under Install Google Tag Manager, you'll take this code, you'll give that to your developer, or if you are a developer, you're going to want to put that up onto the head of the page, and then you can put this code on the body of the page. Once that's done, you should be actually all set to go, and you can then have version control of any changes. So your developers, your marketers, whoever it is that you're working with, we don't want access to your website. It's a liability, unless it's something that we are specifically looking to do some search engine optimization for. It's almost unnecessary. But what you're going to do is you're going to be able to see all your tags here. So you can hit add a new tag. And we looked at, this particular website, and it had Google Analytics. So instead of having analytics living in your code, you would actually want it to live in your Google Tag Manager. It keeps everything nice and clean, and it actually makes all these Google products talk to each other better, which does give you better SEO and better results overall. So you're going to hit that little icon here. You'll get to a choose tag type. And for analytics, it's pretty straightforward. You're just going to hit Universal Analytics, and you'll see here where it's what kind of tracking you want to do. So if it's a page view, which is pretty much your typical one, you're going to hit page view here. You can then go into advanced settings here and see if you want to have it fire once per event or once per page. And if you hit enable overriding settings in this tag, you can then add the tracking ID from analytics here, and it'll then just kind of pick up the settings from analytics and override these settings. So I recommend doing that because you can then just do most of your tracking setup right in analytics and just drop the ID code here. Once you do that, though, you'll go here to where it says triggering, and this will show, it can show a couple different things. It could show a couple different triggers here, and you can set this up any way you would want. If it's a page view, if it's more of kind of a form submission, you can do that. You can do watching of a YouTube video. So if you want to trigger a click there, that's one way of doing it. For analytics, it's really mostly just page view and links. Those are the two ones that you'd want to focus on there. But if you were to do, your Facebook pixel, you can actually do some really cool, like ninja stuff here with this. So basically, you're going to hit new. You're going to go to the tag configuration. Facebook will not be a complete easy integration with Google Tag Manager. It's not difficult though. All you're doing is you're just going to do a custom HTML tag, and then you're going to take that Facebook pixel that we talked about before, grab that code, drop it here, and then set up a trigger. And again, instead of doing just all pages, which is useful information and definitely something you should have set up, you can actually do a trigger on form submission. So you can then just target the people that filled out a form with a different ad if you do this. Or anyone that actually watched a YouTube video, do that. You can do a trigger on a YouTube video, so you can then hit them with a particular ad that is specific to what they were watching. So those are like some of the trigger types that you'd want to do here. And once you've done your triggers and your tags, you can go to where it says publish and submit it. So you can actually preview your changes here, and you can go and submit your changes and then actually set up yourself with a little bit of a version control. You can put the date in, and it'll actually show what the changes were before you hit the submit button. So this is definitely a little bit more of a cleaner way of actually having all your tracking. And once you've done this, you'll actually be able to reap the benefits because your data is going to be a lot cleaner. Plus, competitors cannot see any of your data then. It's all being kind of tracked on Google Tag Manager. So they are not able to go see your Universal Analytics code, your Facebook pixel, the ID number of that particular thing. So they can't really utilize that information, which is definitely a good sense of security for you to have. Doing this is useful because you have a little bit more control of who you give the keys to your website to. You can actually just give them access to Google Tag Manager and control their workspaces a little bit better. This is Samad Safadin, and I hope to have more content out to you guys next week.